Are the rumors true? Is Nico Hulkenberg being seen at the hospitality part of Red Bull? Is he in talks with Helmut Marko and Christian Horner to replace Sergio Perez next season, and possibly not just that next season, but the season after that when they have a lull? My biggest problem with this issue is Lando Norris and Charles Leclerc is on Red Bull's radar. Helmut Marko, Christian Horner said they want to get these two guys out. If they have to pay the teams to end the contract, those two still have a contract up to a certain time, the Red Bull team will pay for it. They want to reconstruct the F1 team of Alain Prost and Ayrton Senna. That was the most dominant team ever. And think about it. The psyche of a brand is super important. So Red Bull is all about the energy drink, marketing, creating just a bigger vibe to the whole product. Now, the reason Marlboro is so remembered, not only because it was a top product, one of the best-selling products in the world, it also is reminiscent of the top F1 team with the top two drivers in one of the most dramatic eras of Formula One and the most dramatic eras in sporting. That's what they want to create. If they can bring over a Lando Norris, if they can bring over a Charles Leclerc, a guy who's on Max Verstappen level, and it becomes a situation much like you had with Nico Rosberg and Lewis Hamilton, but even greater because Nico Rosberg wasn't at the level of Lewis Hamilton for most of his career. If you can bring over a guy in Norris or Leclerc who are able to win races at will, who are able to make F1 exciting again, because not only do you have one driver who can win the championship and win with one team, if you can have those two guys feuding, trying to decide, oh, this is my pit stop strategy. Oh, this is what we're going to do. We're going to come in now. We're going to race hard. We're going to race full out. We're going to create the drama that Rosberg did, knocking into Hamilton, costing both of them wins multiple times, specifically at the Spanish Grand Prix. That's what Red Bull wants. They want to be defined as a team that represented an entire era in Formula One. And Max Verstappen right now is in that sort of, people like to compare him to Senna. He'd actually be in the Prost category because he'd be the proven champion. And then it would be either Leclerc or Norris as the Senna character, a guy who is super talented, super fast, super consistent, super reliable, coming in with no championship to go against the master, to go against the multiple-time champion who's respected of all. This would make Formula One so much more interesting. And I know I've completely digressed away from Nico Hulkenberg, but that's really the aim of them. So if for some reason they feel that Nico Hulkenberg should be able to come in, he'll come in on a one-season contract. He'll finally have the ability to win one Grand Prix, finally get a podium. He's going to have the record for most races without a podium. He already has that. Soon enough, if he stays in Formula One for another season, he'll have the most Grand Prix without a win. That's actually held by Andre De Cesaris right now. Some of you older heads know him as Andre De Crasheris. But that's Red Bull's main goal. Sergio Perez is serving his point right now. I don't know why they would put Nico Hulkenberg in. He's still getting podiums. He's still second in the championship. Their only fear is that if Max can't win a race, sometimes Perez isn't showing up, and they want someone who can, when Max can't win a race, they can win a race. Too much negativity has to happen. Perez needs to have more DNFs, more 6th and 7ths, more not getting into Q1 for him to actually be gotten rid of before next season. Or, next season will be his last season with Red Bull. But really, like I said at the beginning of this video, the Red Bull team and the product wants to create the late 1980s, the early 1990s of Formula One, where people loved two of the best drivers on the entire grid going at it in equal machinery, because Verstappen is the type of personality that you can be his friend like both of those guys. He can respect both of you, but it will become a war. No feelings will be lost. They will hate each other. They will go to the ends of the earth to beat each other. I think Norris would be better for that, because I think he's a consistent driver who doesn't have the mental issues that Charles Leclerc has. Leclerc is much more of a basket case. If he gets into a situation where he's leading a race or he has the best car, I think he has some deficiency where he doesn't either think he deserves it or he just can't handle the pressure of the moment, where he makes mistakes like he did in France last season. We can't have that. Lando Norris, I think, represents a guy who's cool and even. He's got a little bit of a personality to him, funny guy, can make a joke here and there. But on the track, he will just go head to head with Max, and it will be so much more entertaining to be a Formula One fan, to watch what we watched in the past. We really haven't had that type of rivalry. We had it one season, really. Nico Rosberg was able to, sack up and actually challenge Hamilton and beat him, but all those other seasons he just failed to. Michael had essentially no competition. Then you had you had other teams feuding when Michael was in Benetton with the Williams and everything, and then Williams had their own time, but every time somebody was at Williams, it was really just one of the top drivers dominating the other. We really haven't had a team multi-year battle that was just great for just fans, just people who want to watch racing. You don't even have to be a big of racing fan to watch two guys on the same team just going after each other every single Grand Prix, not knowing which one's going to win, if they're both going to take each other out. That's the real drama. That's the real excitement Formula One needs to capture again, and that will happen if we can get Lando Norris in. And I don't think Nico Hulkenberg has a hope in hell at getting at Red Bull, so I think we should all drop that act. He could be a reserve driver, but that's at the best. They're going to look long-term. After Perez, it ain't going to be, a one-year signing. It's going to be one of the top drivers in Formula One right next to Max, and we're really going to see what Max is made out of right then and there. If you liked the video, please subscribe, like, and comment below if you disagree entirely or you want to talk about the old times and what you really thought of it. Let me know.